Hello and welcome to another Pokemon challenge. Today I want to attempt a hardcore Nuzlocke of Pokemon FireRed using only the rock type Pokemon. I've searched high and low, far and wide on the YouTubes, and this is a challenge I haven't seen any videos on, at least not in FireRed. I think this is going to be a very difficult challenge, and I don't know if it's actually doable. With these challenges, they do take some time, and I am working a current full-time job that is working 60 hours a week at the moment. The last run that we did was a bug-type run in Emerald, and the run before that was a poison-type run in FireRed, and there was about a week and a half between the two videos. I try to get these out once a week. Can't always do it because of the nature of these runs and how challenging they can be sometimes. So I wanted to preface the start of this video by saying, please bear with me. I will get these out as soon as possible, but we are working a lot of time at the moment. Let's take a look at the encounters of the Kanto region and see what we are going to be working with. Taking a look at the Nuzlocke tracker that I found on the internet, it says that in the Kanto region there are 6 potential rock encounters. Geodude and Graveler, of course, are of the same species, so the Graveler encounter in Rock Tunnel and Cerulean Cave doesn't matter. Geodude is going to be our first encounter in Mount Moon, Onix is going to be found in Rock Tunnel, and the 3 fossils can be found with their respective fossil at Cinnabar Island. That gives for us a potential of actually only 4 encounters. We will get Geodude, we will get Onix, we will get one of the fossils, and then what this list doesn't actually show is the Rhyhorn that we can encounter in the Safari Zone. So, with all of that being said, Geodude is the earliest Pokemon that we can find, and to do this challenge with rock-type Pokemon all the way through, I think we want to change our starter to one of the fossils. Because all of them are technically found on Cinnabar Island, we can only get one of them, so starting with one of them isn't going to change the challenge. Can you all guess which one of these fossil Pokemon I'm going to use as my starter Pokemon? Put your guesses in the comments below. Now, rock-type Pokemon are known for their rock-hard defense. Rock-hard. Get it? Like rocks, because they're hard. You know? Hit them with a hammer. They don't break very easy. Moving on. If you guessed Omanyte was going to be our starter, then you are correct. You win nothing. Because this is YouTube. I can't give you... You get a gold star. I don't know how you're going to get it. You probably have to go buy it. They're not known for their speed, and on the special side of things, they're not very good, but Omanyte is. This is our Omanyte name lock. Can you guess the theme of the names in this episode? If you can, put it in the comments section below. It has a hasty plus speed minus defense nature, and Omanyte actually has a base special of 90, making it a very good special attacker. This thing is going to be a staple on the team, and I think Brock and Misty are going to be okay, but Misty is not going to be a free battle, nor is a trainer like Erica. So though we've changed up our starter, I don't think this run is going to be easy. Every single one of these runs, I pass this dude that's talking about having so much coffee and he's talking so fast. At first, focus on the Pokemon. He teaches you how to catch Pokemon. He gives you a Teachy TV. I think he's all cracked out. I don't know, but I've never actually looked at the Teachy TV. Teach me how to battle. What are status problems? What are type matchups? I want to catch a Pokemon. Teachy TV. Let's check this thing out, really. Look at this dude. Oh, God, the font is terrible. Let me hear you. Hello. Hello, trainers. Hello. Hello, guy on the screen. It's me, Pokedude. That's Pokedude. Grass and water are types, if you guys didn't know that. I can't really read this. This is very, very bad font. So they're talking about type matchups. And he's going to show us a battle. This looks like Route 1 here. But there's no Oddish on Route 1. Look at that. Our thing caught his team. He has a Poliwag and a Butterfree. That's pretty cool. So he's using Bubble against a grass type, a water type move against a grass, and we know it's not very effective. And they're explaining that. Okay, as a result, it becomes not very effective, and it only inflicts half of the damage. Absorb is super effective against us, so it's going to be a stab move that does 20 base power times 1.5 or whatever. This is pretty cool. If you've never played a Pokemon game, just think back to when this game came out in the 2000s, early 2000s, and this is pretty neat. Huh. This game does do a very good job of explaining all this different stuff that the original Pokemon games didn't explain, and we had to figure out by trial and error. I do like the PokeLink tool that I'm using, how it has his team connected. I'm not going to make you guys sit through all this. I just wanted to check this thing out. Let's get on with the challenge. The Butterfree on the bottom of the screen is a problem. We will fix that later. It's not actually on our team. I am struggle training in Viridian Forest right now so that I can get to level 13 and learn the move Bite. My moveset is Constrict and Withdraw. I cannot do enough damage to these trainers that have Weedles, and I will get poisoned and we will faint, losing the attempt. We have a mandatory battle coming up, so we need to do some training and hope that Bite one-shots Weedles. There is an unavoidable battle with this trainer right here that has a Weedle. That is why we did this struggle training. Bite is a much stronger move, and it uses our special attack instead of our physical attack, so we should be able to one-shot this with a single Bite, which it looks like we do. Nice. Onward and upward to Brock. The first gym leader of Kanto is Brock. B-Rock. Bitch Rock. Maybe? I don't know. He is our rival, and I think he sucks. Bite does well over half damage to Geodude, and Tackle does 1 point of damage to Omanyte, so we take out Geodude with a second Bite. Brock is not going to be an issue. The next couple of battles after this are going to be. Bind misses us, our Bite does what looks like to be about half. Bind does hit and does 1 damage. We get off another Bite and it doesn't quite KO the Onix, and we're wrapped in a bind, so it does another tick of damage. We get hit with a Tackle that does 1 HP. And with 29 HP left, we faint the Onix. Our first encounter in Mount Moon is a Geodude that we named Terra. It has a mild plus special attack minus defense nature. It is very nice to get our hands on another encounter. We are quickly gaining levels with Locke. We have avoided as many trainers as possible, and XP management is going to be a thing. Our next encounter is not until Rock Tunnel, so we have to be very careful not to overlevel the 2 Pokemon that we have. So we're going to avoid as many trainers as we can, get a little experience for Geodude, and make our way to Cerulean, where I decided to take on our rival Gary before taking on Misty. We lead with Locke, and he leads with Pidgeotto. We hit Bite, which doesn't do quite half damage, but the Tackle only does 2 damage. We get hit with Gust. It looks like we're in a bit of a speed tie, and Gust only does 2 damage. Bite takes it out with a critical hit. Very nice. Now out next for Gary is Bulbasaur, because we have a quad weakness to grass. We hit it with a Bite for about a third, and it hits a Sleep Powder. That's not very good. The only berry we have access to is an Oran and a Persimberry at this time. We do stay asleep, and Bulbasaur gets off a nasty Vine Whip to 5 HP. We wake up the next turn, we hit Bite, and we flinch the Bulbasaur. That is insane. And a third Bite KOs the Bulbasaur. I cannot believe we actually survived that. Out comes Abra, and Abra is completely free. I could leave Locke in, but I might as well switch in Terra before the Rattata. Teleport fails. We hit it with a Rock Throw after another failed teleport for a one-shot. Abra is a pretty physically frail Pokemon. Last but not least for our rival is his Rattata. hits us with a tackle doing 2 HP of damage, and a rock throw KOs the rat, winning us the battle. We almost lost a critical Pokemon here. I decide to take on Misty before the Nugget Bridge so that I don't overlevel. Terra is not going to be able to do anything here, so I lead with Omanyte, who takes neutral damage from water moves. Staryu just goes for Harden, and we get a critical hit bite to actually one-shot the Staryu. That is amazing. I didn't know I was going to have such a difficult time this early on. Out comes Starmie, and as you see, it is attempt 15 because this thing has KO'd us so many times. Water Pulse does over half damage, and Bite also does over half damage. With a held Oran Berry, we managed to heal back 10 HP, meaning that we can live one more Water Pulse, provided it is not a crit, but of course it confuses on this turn. We are confused, but Locke is a trooper and fights through the confusion, KOing the Starmie. 15 attempts to get here. I didn't know this was going to be such a struggle. Arrival on the SSN should be our last major hurdle for a little while until we get to Cerulean. He leads with Pidgeotto that goes for Quick Attack, and I lead with Locke using Water Pulse. We did teach ourselves Rock Tomb, but our physical attack is much weaker than our special attack, so a second Water Pulse takes out the Pidgeotto. Out comes Ivysaur. Ivysaur hits us immediately with a sleep powder, but a held Chesto Berry that we found on the SSN pulls us out of the sleep, and we get off a Rock Tomb. This is the whole reason I taught this move. I need to lower the speed of the Ivysaur. After the Rock Tomb, we go for Bite. Because we outspeed it, I'm hoping for a flinch, and we do take it down to about a third and get the flinch. We go for another Bite, and it puts it to a sliver of health, but we get another flinch. So a third Bite takes out the Ivysaur, and out comes Kadabra. Immediately it hits us with Disable, so we can't use a Bite. On the second turn, it goes for Kinesis, lowering our accuracy, and I just go for Water Pulse, which doesn't quite take it out. The next turn, it hits us with the Confusion. We actually miss a Water Pulse and are no longer disabled, so Kadabra goes for another Disable, and I just go for Bite, taking out the Kadabra. Out comes Raticate. Raticate isn't a huge threat. It goes for Hyper Fang, which only does 6 HP of damage, so I go for Water Pulse, which actually misses. Why not? We got hit with Kinesis. Another Hyper Fang for 6 more health. We hit a Water Pulse. It doesn't quite take out the Raticate. The Raticate hits us with another Hyper Fang. 90 accuracy move, by the way. We're playing around a critical hit right now. We should have just swapped in Geodude, but a final Water Pulse takes out the Raticate, and we can move on. For Lieutenant Surge, I lead with Terra. I could have taught Terra Dig here, but instead I go for Magnitude. Voltorb does outspeed us to hit us with Screech. There's nothing that any of these Pokemon can really do to us. And of course we get a Magnitude 5, so it doesn't quite KO the Geodude. Surge hits a Super Potion. We go for a Tackle. And then Voltorb outspeeds us with another Screech, so we're at -4 defense, whatever. And we hit a Magnitude 8. Very nice. Out comes a Pikachu. Pikachu goes for Double Team. We go for Magnitude, get a Magnitude 6, and KO the Pikachu. Out comes Raichu, who goes for a Double Team as well. We go for Magnitude, hit a Magnitude 8, and KO the Raichu, winning a very easy fight. Here is our next encounter, Onix, O-N-I-X, for those of you arguing about it on the internet. We named it Celeste. It has a Naive, plus speed, minus special defense nature. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I've used this thing in a single playthrough of FireRed on my own, and this thing is garbage. But it's going to soak up some experience. The next thing that absolutely has to happen is we gotta get our hands on Ice Beam now that we're in Cerulean City. It costs 4,000 coins. That equates to 80,000 Pokédollars. So we're gonna need to go through the Rocket Hideout. We're gonna need to battle every trainer that we can and double our money that we have at the moment. I'm going to sell as many items as I can, battle as many trainers as I can without going over the level cap, and get this TM. I do not think we can beat Erica without it. The plus speed nature, the EV training that we've done, it's all culminating to this point of the game. These are our stats on lock at the moment. We have a attack stat of 36, we have a defense stat of 66, special attack of 71, special defense and speed are locked in at 44. Hopefully that is enough speed to outspeed the Victory Bell. If it is, we outspeed her entire team. We did manage to get our hands on Ice Beam. We have invested so much time in special attack EVs, speed EVs to get to this point. I did all this early on knowing that this was going to be the only potential way that we could beat Erica. If I cannot beat her with Omanyte, the rest of our team gets wiped. You'll notice that Tara is not on the team. That is because I accidentally overleveled her, so she is in the box for this battle. Let's hope that everything goes in our favor and that RNGesus is on our side. We can outspeed the Victory Bell and hopefully one-shot some Pokemon to beat Erica. Moment of truth time. I send out Lock against Victory Bell and click Ice Beam, and surprisingly we outspeed the Victory Bell. We one-shot the Victory Bell with Ice Beam. Oh my goodness, that is amazing. We will outspeed the rest of her team. Out comes Tangela. I go for Ice Beam again. It connects. We one-shot the Tangela. That is absolutely amazing. Out comes Vileplume. I click Ice Beam one more time, and it doesn't KO the Vileplume because it's just a little bit more bulky, but we get the lucky freeze. Oh my goodness, that is clutch. If she hit us with Giga Drain, we're done. She stays frozen. She does go for a full heal to thaw herself out, but it doesn't matter. One more Ice Beam takes out Vileplume, and the last major challenge for our run is over. We're done. We beat it. Lorelei is going to be a challenge later on, but up until that point, it's going to be really, really easy from here on out. Our rival in the tower leads with Pidgeotto, and I lead with Lock. Pidgeotto outspeeds us with a priority quick attack, but we connect with an Ice Beam for a one-shot. It's nice to have a move that can one-shot this thing on our Pokemon that doesn't have good physical attack. Out comes Ivysaur, and this is the moment of truth. Is this run going to be relatively decent until one of our final encounters, or is it going to be painful? And the answer is... we one-shot the Ivysaur. It's not very painful. Nice. That makes me so happy. Out comes Gyarados. I forgot it had Gyarados. So I do swap into Terra. I swap into a Bite because Gyarados doesn't have very good level up moves. We hit it with a Rock Throw that manages to one-shot the Gyarados. It's because we're a little bit over-leveled. Out comes Kadabra, who disables Rock Throw on the first try, so we can't use it. It hits us with a decent confusion, and I retaliate with a magnitude 8, KOing the Kadabra. Out comes Growlithe, so I decide, rather than leaving Terra out there for an easy KO, let's swap in Celeste and let it start doing something. This Pokemon, unfortunately, is just not great. It doesn't hit hard, considering it's a literal snake made of rocks. Watch this. Rock Throw, that is a stab super effective move against Growlithe, doesn't KO it. We are also 5 levels higher. The second Rock Throw does KO it, however. After beating the Pokemon Tower, this is where the game opens up. We can make our way to Fuchsia, we can get to the Safari Zone, we can get our next encounter, we can get Surf, we can train along the way, fight Koga, use Surf out of battle, and at that point we can get our final encounter. I did grab the Helix Fossil from Mount Moon because I have Omanyte. I have already planned to get Aerodactyl as my final encounter, so that I have something that takes neutral damage from Grass-type moves. That has always been my plan. Now that we have all of this stuff, we've got a lot of work that we can do We can head down Cycling Road. We can head down the route south here of Lavender. It doesn't really matter which way you go. This route, 12, 13, 14, leading to Fuchsia, has many more trainers, so that's much more experience points because Koga's level cap is 43. So we're going to want to train up somebody. I think Terra is going to be the one to take on Koga and get ourselves a way to get to Cinnabar so we can have 2 more encounters. We've been running this entire game with 3 Pokemon, and one of them, that's in the lead right now, is not that good. Let's meet our next encounter, Realm the Rhyhorn that we met in the Safari Zone. It has a Brave plus attack minus speed nature. It's a decent addition to the team. Once it evolves into Rhyhorn, it's going to be better, but the Rockhead ability is very nice. Before we can get our next encounter, we have to beat Koga. Of course, I lead with Terra against Koga, and I decide to go for a Defense Curl rollout strategy. Normally, locking yourself into rollout is not a good move, but I can't really use Magnitude against these Pokemon because the Coughings and Wheezing have Levitate. Toxic missed us, which is really nice, and Rollout missed, which is terrible. I do have a Pecha Berry equipped just in case we do get poisoned. The first Sludge does very minimal damage. The second Sludge actually poisons us, which we heal off with a Pecha Berry. Very nice. You can find a Pecha Berry north of Cerulean, and you can find one in the SS Hand. After a second rollout, the first Coughing goes down, out comes Muck, and our third rollout actually connects and one-shots the Muck. That's really nice. We just need to keep our fingers crossed for the next 2 rollouts. The fourth rollout against Coughing connects and of course one-shots it. Out comes Wheezing, the bulkiest of Pokemon. Our 5th rollout does connect and one-shot the Wheezing. Some of these Pokemon can go boom. I was never worried about that because of our high physical defense. Koga was a very easy battle. With Koga defeated, we made our way to Cinnabar Island and we revived the old Amber named Setzer. It has a lonely nature that is plus attack and minus defense. Pretty good nature for Aerodactyl. It's time to put the experience share on this thing and start training it. Unfortunately, Terra has once again overleveled, so we won't be able to use her in the Sabrina fight, but we have the whole of Silph Company to start leveling up our Pokemon. Our rival in the Silph Company leads with Pidgeot, and I lead with our new Setzer, leveled up to level 40. I go for Ancient Power first turn. It is nice to finally outspeed some of these Pokemon, and we one-shot the Pidgeot. Out comes Gyarados, and once again, it doesn't have a very good level up moveset. Its Intimidate, lowering our attack, does stink. Our subsequent Ancient Power doesn't one-shot this thing, but it does well over half damage, and Gyarados just goes for Dragon Rage. That's 40 HP of damage. The next Ancient Power does KO the Gyarados. Out comes Alakazam. I go for Ancient Power again, which actually doesn't KO it. That's pretty crazy. It just goes for Calm Mind, and I know Dark type is special, but I just go for Bite, and we KO the Alakazam. Very nice. Out comes a Venusaur. The whole reason I wanted Aerodactyl. We go for Aerial Ace, and it does a little bit over half damage. Venusaur just goes for Sleep Powder. I did have a held Chesto Berry just in case. A second Aerial Ace KOs the Venusaur. Very, very nice. Our rival is not a problem. He will be when he's the champion, but for now we can rest easy. Out comes Growlithe, who hits us with another Intimidate, so we are at -2 attack. Ancient Power connects and actually kills the Growlithe. Nice. I didn't expect that. I figured it'd be a 2-shot. I haven't been showing off the Giovanni battles because they're pretty minuscule up until he returns to the gym. Very similar to how I'm not showing the May battles in Emerald anymore. We don't one-shot the Nidorino, but a Fury attack doesn't do much damage to us, so a second Surf KOs it. Next up is Nidoqueen. Again, a single Surf doesn't quite KO it. Maybe if I had the Mystic Water, we could have KO'd it. She just gets off a pretty weak double kick and we KO it with a second Surf. Out comes Rhyhorn and we do KO that thing with a single Surf because it's quad weak to both water and grass. You'll notice on the bottom with all the different names, I did fix Celeste's name and it was in all caps for some reason. Kangaskhan comes out and hits us with a fake out, which is pretty annoying. It's just some chip damage. Surf does well over half. Mega Punch doesn't do that much damage. And a final Surf KOs it. Again, Giovanni, not that difficult. As a matter of fact, the game is going to get very easy up until the Elite Four. Here we are at Sabrina's gym. We're leading with Setzer. We go for Ancient Power against the Kadabra. Her Pokemon are very physically frail, so Kadabra goes down in a one-shot. Mr. Mime comes out. We click Ancient Power. It too goes down to a single Ancient Power. Out comes Venomoth, and I always forget this thing is bug poison, not bug flying, so it's only 2 times weak to rock, but it still goes down in a single shot. It's not 4 times weak. Alakazam is the only real threat. As it comes out, we outspeed it, we hit it with an Ancient Power, and our physical prowess wins. We beat Sabrina with 4 clicks of Ancient Power. The same thing is going to happen to Blaine. Instead of using Setzer, however, we have Lock. We send Lock out because of the Growlithe and Arcanine Intimidate drops. Doesn't matter for you if you're using special attacks. We just go for Surf. Surf one-shot Growlithe. Out comes Arcanine next, which is unusual. We get the Intimidate drop, which again does not matter. Surf one-shots the Arcanine. If Surf one-shots the Arcanine, the subsequent Pokemon are going down in a single shot. Out comes Ponyta, we take it out with a single Surf. Out comes Rapidash, his 4th and final Pokemon, and we just click the button one more time and it goes down to a Surf. It was a critical hit, that didn't matter. Blaine defeated. Oh my god, the gym leader's returned. The leader of a criminal organization has come back to Viridian. That's what you're excited about? Crime has returned to the city. You know what? I'm down for it. Let's go. I'm going in your house. I want your money. I want your Pokemon. You there. Give me nickname. No, I don't want a nickname. I want your money. I want your money. I want your Pokemon. I want your TV. Let's go to the Pokemart. Crime for everyone. Everybody gets some crime. I'm going to steal your money, and I'm going to steal your money. How can I help you? You can give me what's in the register, punk. Don't tell me please come again. We're robbing the place. If it wasn't for Giovanni being a gym leader, the 8th and final gym leader, I wouldn't even have recorded this battle. I literally click Surf 5 times and win. The last 4 gym leaders have been relatively easy for us to beat. Koga, I thought, might put up a little bit of a fight, but alas, we have won. Misty and Erica have been a problem for us. The rival battle in Cerulean and the rival battle on the SS Anne were a problem. Had we not gotten the lucky freeze from Erica, we would have wiped one more time and we wouldn't still be looking at attempt 15 here. But attempt 15 is going to take us all the way at least to the rival outside of Viridian, because these Pokemon go down super easy. I don't even have the Mystic Water equipped, and Locke is just handling business. Rhyhorn's, of course, going to go down because it's quad weak. Dugtrio is not very strong, it's just fast. Nidoqueen and Nidoking actually are a little bit bulky, but they just don't stand up. Our team is superior. Rock, better than ground. Mostly just water, better than ground, but I digress. Last battle before the Elite Four, our rival sends out his trusty Pidgeot, and I send out Setzer. I go for Ancient Power turn run. Again, we still outspeed this thing. I did use some of the rare candies that I have on my person to get this thing to level 55, just to have that level advantage. Out next for our rival is Gyarados. Gyarados hits us with an Intimidate, so we're at -1 attack. We got off an Ancient Power, which does well over half damage, and we get the Omni Boost, so we're back to normal attack, but everything else has a +1. For those that don't know, there are 12 rare candies that you can find in Pokemon FireRed. The last one's actually going to be in Victory Road. Gyarados just goes for Rain Dance, and we hit a second Ancient Power to actually take it out. Out comes Rhyhorn. The rain is still going. I don't really want to switch, so I decide to go for Bite against the Rhyhorn, which does a lot of damage and flinches the Rhyhorn. Super nice, so a second Bite just takes it out. Out comes Growlithe, hitting us with an Intimidate, putting us at -1 attack. The rain is still falling. I decide to go for Ancient Power. There's nothing this Growlithe can do to us in the rain. And we one-shot it. Out for our rival comes Alakazam. We hit it with an Ancient Power, and once again, we don't quite take it out. It does hit us with a pretty nasty Psychic. Alakazam's a beast. Another Ancient Power KOs the Alakazam, and last for our rival is a Venusaur. We hit an Aerial Ace for a critical hit that one-shots the Venusaur. We took 50 total damage in that battle. Let's get ready for the Elite Four. Quite a lot of grinding has gone on for levels and held items, but here is our team. Terra with Brick Break, Earthquake, Rollout, and Rock Tomb. Locke with Ice Beam, Surf, Tickle, and Bite. Celeste with Rock Throw, Iron Tail, Strength, and Sandstorm. Setzer with Aerial Ace, Ancient Power, Bite, and Dragon Claw. Last but not least is Realm with Rock Slide, Thunderbolt, Double Edge, and Earthquake. I spent a lot of time grinding these guys up. I did get some held items for these Pokemon, as you'll see here. I used to say these names incorrectly, Celeste and Locke. I used to pronounce them Celius and Locke when I first played the game that they are from. I'm not good at names. We did spend some time getting these different items. We have the Black Belt on Terra, Never Melt Ice on Locke, Hardstone on Setzer, and the Magnet on Realm. I also have the Mystic Water in my inventory just in case we need it. But we are leveled up, itemed up, and ready to take on the Elite Four. Up first is Lorelei, the Ice Trainer, and she is going to be the big threat of the Elite Four. I do go for Aerial Ace on turn 1 because Ancient Power is just not enough to take out Dugong, and Dugong goes for Hail. Next turn we go for Ancient Power, fishing for that Omni boost, and it takes out the Dugong. Out comes Cloyster. Cloyster likes to go for Protect on the first turn. I do go for Ancient Power, and it doesn't go for Protect. We do well over half damage, and it just goes for Spikes. I figure it's going to go for Protect the next turn, so we click Aerial Ace, and it does in fact go for Protect. Next turn, same thing, it goes for Protect, but it fails, so our Aerial Ace KOs the Cloyster. Very nice. Out comes a huge threat in Jinx. Jinx can one-shot us very easily with a stab super effective ice move that we are quad weak against. However, an Ancient Power just one-shots the Jinx nice and clean. I am fishing for this Omni boost, it's so bad. Out comes Lapras and I click Ancient Power. It does well over half damage and we just get hit with Confuse Ray. I want to swap out, but I cannot swap into the Ice Beam that I know is coming. We're just going to have to hope that we fight through Confusion to KO the Lapras. We click Ancient Power. Yes! KO the Lapras. That is a huge threat gone. Last for Lorelei is Slowbro, so I swap into Locke. I anticipated a Surf, but it did so much damage. I go for Bite. It does just over half damage. That's good enough for me. Slowbro goes for Yawn. I knew it would swap away from Surf. That's just how the AI works. And a final Bite KOs the Slowbro, winning us the Lorelei battle. Against Bruno, I decide to lead with Realm. Realm hasn't got a lot of screen time, and I figure we can stand up against the first Onix. Onix does outspeed us and go for Earthquake. It doesn't do a lot of damage, though. It does 45 damage. We retaliate with an Earthquake of our own, one-shotting the Onix. Out next for Bruno is its second Onix, and the same thing happens. It hits us with a decent little Earthquake, doing about the same damage, maybe just a little bit more, and our Earthquake takes it out. Out next is Hitmonchan. I decide to stay in and go for Double Edge. I didn't know what Hitmonchan was going to go for, and it hits us with a nasty Sky Uppercut that we tank like a champion, retaliate with a Double Edge that leaves Hitmonchan on a sliver of health. Knowing that Bruno's going to heal with a full restore, I decide to swap into Setzer. Bruno does in fact heal with a full restore, so it was a free swap for us. I outspeed Hitmonchan to one-shot it with an Aerial Ace, and out comes Machamp. I don't one-shot the Machamp with an Aerial Ace, but we do a bunch of damage to it. It just goes for a bulk up, and even after the Citrus Berry heal, we manage to KO it with another Aerial Ace. Last for Bruno is his Hitmonlee. We outspeed it and one-shot it with an Aerial Ace. Very nice battle. Very good job, Realm. You're a star. Agatha is a trainer that can easily go south very fast. Depends on if RNGesus is on your side. I lead with Lock and go for Bite, dropping Gengar deep into the red, and we get hit with a Confuse Ray. I decide I don't want to deal with the confusion, so I swap to Terra on a full restore. Gengar then goes for Double Team. My Rock Throw misses. Goes for Double Team again. My Rock Throw hits. Gengar goes for Double Team again. I could just swap into Setzer and go for Aerial Ace, but I'm stubborn. A Rock Throw misses. We get hit with a Confuse Ray, and through confusion and a bunch of double teams, we manage to hit a Rock Throw that KOs. Out comes Arbok, and I decide to swap in a Realm because of the confusion and the dropped attack. We get hit with a Screech on the swap and get hit with another Screech before an Earthquake KOs the Arbok. Out comes Golbat. Golbat outspeeds us to hit us with a Bite, and it flinches us. It hits us with another Bite and flinches us again. I don't know why Agatha didn't stay with the strategy, but she goes for Air Cutter on the next turn, and a Rock Slide KOs the Golbat. Out comes Haunter. I clicked Rock Slide. It outspeeds us and goes for a Curse, cutting its HP in half, so Rock Slide KOs it. Out comes her final Gengar. Oh my goodness, this has been a battle. I decide to swap Celeste in, and we swap into a Hypnosis. Of course I do. I swap Lock on a Shadow Ball, go for Bite, and we get put to sleep with Hypnosis. I decide to stay in and get hit with Nightmare, getting too low on health, so I swap to Terra. We get hit with a Shadow Ball, and then we get hit with a Hypnosis. You realize Hypnosis is a 55% accurate move, right? And we've been hit with it 3 consecutive times. You know what consecutive means? One right after the other. RNGesus is not on our side. I decide to stay in and get hit with a couple of Shadow Balls, trying to wake up, but we don't, so I swap in Setzer, who gets hit with a Shadow Ball. We do outspeed the Gengar and hit it with an Ancient Power. Gengar isn't trying any more shenanigans and goes for one more Shadow Ball. And even after a Citrus Berry heal, a final Ancient Power KOs the Gengar. I would have hated to wipe at this point, but we made it to the final Elite Four member. Last for the Elite Four is Lance, who is a lot less problematic than Agatha. He leads with Gyarados and I lead with Realm. We get hit with Intimidate on the way in, but that doesn't matter because we taught Realm Thunderbolt. We get hit with Dragon Rage for 40 HP, and Thunderbolt drops Gyarados deep into the red. Lance then goes for a full restore. We hit another Thunderbolt to put him back into red health. We get outsped and hit with a Dragon Rage, and a final Thunderbolt KOs the Gyarados. Out comes Dragonair, and I think Dragonair is going to go for Thunder Wave. So I just stay in and get hit with another Dragon Rage. I go for Earthquake and realize immediately that I am ground type, so it won't go for Thunder Wave. So I swap into Lock. Lock swaps in on a Safeguard. We hit Dragonair with an Ice Beam to KO it. Out comes the second Dragonair, and we one-shot it with an Ice Beam. Out comes his Ace Dragonite. We one-shot it with a quad super effective Ice Beam. And last but not least is Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl outspeeds us and hits an Ancient Power. I hit an Ice Beam. Lance goes for a full restore. I hit another Ice Beam. get outsped one more time to get hit with Ancient Power, and a final Ice Beam KOs Lance. If you have a Pokemon that has access to Ice Beam, this battle is very easy. We beat him. On to the champion. Leading off against Champion Gary is Realm. Realm can do a lot more damage with Rock Slide. Pidgeot just goes for a weak Aerial Ace, and Rock Slide connects and one-shots the Pidgeot. This baits out the Rhydon of Champion Gary, so I pivot to Setzer, knowing that it's going to go for Earthquake. Earthquake misses because of our flying type, and I pivot on through to Lock. I thought we were going to pivot into a Rock Tomb, but it turns out he just went for Scary Face. So Rhydon actually outspeeds us next turn and hits us with a very nasty Earthquake that, if it had crit, would have KO'd our precious starter. It didn't, so we go for Surf and we KO the Rhydon. This baits out a Venusaur, which was the intent of the order that I started this battle. Venusaur takes in Sunlight as we swap into Setzer. I taught Setzer Fly because of this, and we click Fly. Venusaur Solar Beam misses. Our Fly connects, dropping it deep into the yellow health. Venusaur just goes for Growth on the next turn, and we have a little bit of glitching at the bottom. The Citrus Berry activates and heals up a little bit of Venusaur's health. I go for Ancient Power thinking we would KO. It doesn't, but we get the Omni boost, bringing us to +1 of everything. Venusaur then goes for Solar Beam one more time. I go for Ancient Power, and we KO the Venusaur, and also get another Omni boost, so now we are at +2 everything, which is absolutely amazing. Gyarados comes out and drops us to +1 with its Intimidate. We go for Ancient Power and one-shot the Gyarados. Nice. Out comes Alakazam, and we outspeed it and one-shot it with the Ancient Power. I believe that's because of the Omni boost. Not 100% sure though. Arcanine comes out last but not least and drops us to normal attack power, and we click Ancient Power. It doesn't quite KO the Arcanine, it just goes for Flamethrower, which doesn't do a lot of damage, and a final Ancient Power KOs the Arcanine, beating our rival with this team of 5 Rock-type Pokemon. Can you believe it? Every time I do one of these runs, they're so much fun, and each run gets funner as we do it. This has been one of my favorite runs that we've done thus far. I loved it. Kanto does not have a wide selection of Rock-type Pokemon. It would have been nice to have Kabutops on the team. I did love that Pokemon as a child, but we all know who the real Lord is. Here is our team of 5 Pokemon that beat the Elite Four. Celeste didn't really do anything except swap in on a Hypnosis one time. But the other 4 are actually really good Pokemon. I knew that Omastar and Aerodactyl were. I know Golem's pretty bulky, but I've learned that both Rhydon and Golem are great Pokemon. I hope you guys enjoyed this run. It was so much fun. I'm so happy that we only did 15 attempts. This could have been a lot more with Erica and the problem with our rival on the SS Anne. Maybe giving our rival Bulbasaur wasn't the best answer, but it definitely gave us the hardest challenge. So hopefully for you guys, it was more enjoyable. I'm not sure what the next run is going to be. I've debated back and forth between doing an Emerald run and a Gen 4 run. The holidays are coming up, so I'm going to try to get started on that run, but we have a lot of things going on. Work, travel, holidays. Bear with me. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, you know the routine. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you on the next episode.